YouTube, we've got a new update for Idle Heroes. It's not a new event, it's just some small quality of life improvements and new things that you can buy. So if you haven't already seen, draw your attention to the marketplace. And you'll see there's some small changes. We can now buy even more profit orbs if you wanted to. Not that you were probably buying profit orbs anyway, but if you wanted to, you can now buy more for your gems. Also, the price is actually pretty respectable. 350 is not terrible. Nothing has really changed the scrolls here. It's still 8 for 1,000, but now you can get a core for 1,000 as opposed to 1,500. So that might be tempting for you. The biggest change here is that this is better than the Celestial Island Merchant's 1,250. Now, I don't know if they've changed the price of that. If they have, then that's pretty cool, but we know it's 1,000 here. And you can even buy 3 of them for 3,000. So if you've got gems to spare and you're desperate for cores, this might not be that bad. Now, it still goes for free-to-play players that you typically want to be saving your gems whenever possible, because you're going to need them for big events. If you haven't already seen, we've got Halloween coming next week. You're going to need your gems for that. And also, if you've been doing this week's event, you'll know you'll be needing gems to buy Imp's Adventure Dice. And more on that, you'll also be needing to do Shelter Mission to get some extra Reverie Keys, because it's 2,000 gems for each of these. So there are better places to spend your gems, but still, what you can do is if you have extra gems, get yourself some stuff like cores. If you carry on going through the menu, you'll notice you can even buy a now broader selection of Transcendence Heroes. Still terrible. This is random. I don't like random. And for some reason, it's progressively more expensive the newer the hero. That doesn't make any sense to me. And what you also have is, once you get to the very end, you'll see some random resources in here for stupid prices. Look at that. Master's Toolboxes, you can have 3 of them for 300. That's not great. You can have 25,000 Stellar Shards for 1,000. That's not even that good. Neither's the Crystals of Transcendence here. It just gets way too expensive. Like 10,000 gems for 250,000 Stellars. The Glorious Treasury gives way more than that. No, thank you. Don't need this. You might need it for like the last few Stellar Shards, I guess, if you are desperate, but you shouldn't be needing to spend to get this. And Cores of Origin here, you get a single shard for 1,500 gems. That's horrendously bad value. On top of that, you can even get Sublimation here for 1,500 as well. That's 1,800 subs. Not enough to upgrade a skill. So if you want to get yourself the necessary 180,000 sublimation to upgrade a single skill, you need to spend 150,000 gems. That's bad. That's really bad. Also, it will take you 100 days. No, thank you. I don't want to do this. Very silly. And on top of that, Spiritual Essence, 1,000 for 300. What you can at least enjoy here is, if you do need to, as Renville has said, iron out any last resources you might need, this can be helpful. So let's say you need 1 more shard, and that can be useful for you. And Sublimation, throwing that in, can be pretty nice if you need it to help get extra subs. Now, I am looking at this from the lens of a free-to-play player. If you're a spender, this is actually pretty good. If you already have a massive gem income on your account, picking up Sublimation here and the Core of Origin shards might not be a terrible idea, because it will mean that you've got a faster income of these resources, which are essential components for establishing heroes, getting your Tree of Origin levels, and eventually getting yourself access to Destiny. So this is pretty good for spenders. It's just not good value for free-to-play, and you don't want to be throwing your gems aggressively at this. So what is good value? What has this update given us that is good? Well, let's go look at the Wishing Fountain. You'll see that this now is giving increased amounts of rewards. There's even 4-star armor in here, which is actually pretty great. The odds are low, but this is still pretty nice that they've thrown that in. We've got some Afterglow in here. The gold total, this is significantly higher. So is the dust total as well. So you're just getting more resources from Wishing Coins, which is pretty nice. It would have been nice to have this, you know, when we last had a good Wishing Coin event. I'm now spent on Wishing Coins. But it's nice to know that that value's gone up Same with the Super Wishing Fountain as well. You'll see that the gold total is significantly higher. They've thrown Cause of Transcendence in here as well. That looks like it's come in the place of 4-star Shard Heroes. No, that looks like that's been replaced with 5-star Light and Dark Shard. That's weird. Why is that there? But we do now have access to Cause of Transcendence in here, which is pretty decent. And yeah, obviously hero copies are going to be here. But no, the increased gold is probably the nicest part of this. And of course, as always, you got Heroic Summons, Prophet Orbs, stuff like that. Try refresh. Yeah, does this go up any higher? No, that's gone down to 2,800. So 3,500 was a pretty good high roll here. Monster Pods are even getting thrown in here too. And yeah, Cause of Transcendence with a 2% drop chance though. That's pretty bad. And you'll see we've also got a 100 times button. This is important. We actually needed this because there are events where it rewards you for using Super Wishing Coins, and being able to click this is actually pretty useful, so you don't have to do them in batches of 10, you can do them in batches of 100, which is a nice quality of life improvement. On the topic of quality of life improvements, we also have the Void Invasion now having the option of buying attacks. You were limited to 3 a day. Now you can buy 10 more on top of your starting 3. A bit like Seal Land. You'll see the price progressively increases, so 300th and 700th and 1200. It gets quite expensive. I don't like the progressive price increase. I think that's unnecessary, but it's a funny way to drain people of gems if they get very, very addicted to attacking these bosses. Also, it's nice if you're just trying to squeeze out your last extra progress against the bosses, or maybe you've just unlocked a boss and you want to try and clear all 10 difficulties because you're a Giga Whale, in which case, yeah, that's kind of cool. And it means that you can beat these relatively more quickly if you're willing to throw gems at this. So that's kind of fun. I like this as an update. It's going to make doing Void bosses a little more enjoyable and give people more room to try and experiment with different teams. So that's nice. I like this as an improvement. Another way that you can get yourself some extra progress is in the Heroic Breakout. There is now Chapter 2, where you can go ahead and fight this, and if you find a time to sit down and do the Heroic Breakout and fight through here, you will hopefully get yourself more and more resources, which means you can go to the Star Vending Machine and relatively easily get yourself to 450 points, assuming you're doing most things in the Fantasy Arcade. That might be enough to push you to the Origin Artifact Selection Chest, which I know people in chat have already been telling me they've been able to go down and reach, which is pretty nice, guys. You get some good rewards if you push in the Fantasy Arcade. I'm not a huge fan of the arcade. You'll see I haven't pushed it too much on my account, but I know a lot of you guys really enjoy this, and the free rewards are definitely pretty good. So getting yourself a free deific artifact is nice, and Heroic Breakout has now made that a lot easier. Another nice thing that's been added, if you look at the blacksmith, is we now have the option to quick craft. This means it'll automatically merge the things that have a red dot on them for you, so you don't have to manually click them one by one. This could be pretty useful if you need to get yourself some more 6-star armor or 5-star armor. I do like this as an improvement for people. This is pretty decent, and it's not that expensive actually. Like, the crafting used to be really expensive like years and years and years ago, but now that gold is so much easier to get on your accounts, this should not cost you too much at all. And it does mean you can get extra armor if you want to, which can make life pretty nice. That also is useful considering we now get more 4-star armor and 5-star armor. Like, even if you just look at the Wishing Fountain, as I said, they've now added 4-star armor to this, so getting higher level armor is something we've already seen, especially even Heroic Summon events give you better armor now from the Hero Lottery. So getting yourself access to armor upgrades more easily in the blacksmith just by the click of a button is pretty useful. It's just a quality of life improvement. You could always upgrade it anyway. It's just useful for us if we want to merge and get stronger armor, either for resonance crystals or just so that you can have strong armor on your account, because maybe you'll need it for improving your resonance armor, right? You need 6-star armor to do that. And you'll notice here I've entered the Void, and that's because the Galactic Tree also has an update, which makes it easier to assess your star spawns. If you have multiple of these cookies, it will do them back to back. So there's not really a reason for me to do this here on my account, but if you wanted to, and you wanted to get yourself lots of assessing done, you could batch assess and see what comes out, and it will stop once you get yourself something with higher than your original attributes. It's unlikely I'm going to get something better than this holy damage, but it does mean that it'll just auto upgrade through and spend your cookies. this is cute, but I don't really think there's a reason to do this. I prefer to do it one by one, but it does seem like a fun update nonetheless. And you're saying you can filter for a specific stat as well? Oh, that's pretty nice if that's the case. Yeah, you can filter for the one that you want to make improved. That's actually pretty good, so it'll just keep recycling over and over and over again until you beat the current stat you're looking for, which is normally the bonus stat. So if I was ever crazy enough to try and refresh this, which I wouldn't do, 130% on all damage, that's very good. If I was wanting to do that, I'd be looking for something better than what I've already got. I wonder, is there any of these that it's worth showing you on? Maybe the assassin? Yeah, go on. We'll batch assess this to see if we get something better for Maim. Oh, hang on. Do I have the mage? I do have that guy. Maybe we try and improve this. Oh, wow. No, never mind. His control immunity offset's insane. I've already done all the good ones. No. All right, then. Maim it is. Let's try and get this guy better. So we'll batch assess this. We'll look for better Maim, and we'll do it twice. Let's see what we get. 1. And then... Oh, wow. That was really slow. I guess it's so you can read every result? Well, I'd rather just do it manually, but yeah, sure. Okay, that's a cute update. So yeah, Star Destiny not saved, confirm leaving. Yes, I'm gonna confirm leaving. But there you go. That's how that one works, I suppose. And yeah, you can stop it if you want. So maybe that's why it's slower, just so that you have the opportunity to go, ooh, no, I want this, cancel. Obviously, it's better than it just going super quick and you missing perhaps something really good. And there's one final update, which I think is pretty neat. If you go into the auction house, normally you have to go here every day if you've got Prism Story Gems and convert your Prism Story Gems into normal Story Gems. And if you forget, it can be really annoying because some of you can only convert maybe 100 or 200 a day, and you might have a stack of several thousand. So you want to make sure that you can do those conversions each day and maximize your income of turning Prism Story Gems into normal Story Gems. Well, if you go ahead to the Idle Master and scroll all the way down to Story Gem Exchange, all you need to do is select yes, and now if you have Prism Story Gems on your account, it will automatically convert them to normal Story Gems up to your exchange limit. This can be really, really helpful. So I'm glad that they've added this because it makes life so much easier for any of you guys who are sitting on a stack of Prism Story Gems that you may have bought or got from an event, and now you can just convert them more easily. That's definitely a nice touch considering they've made it so that you get Prism Story Gems when you sell hero copies in the auction house now. So being able to convert them more easily every day and not rely on you remembering is just a nice quality of life improvement. So there it is, folks. That is everything that's been added to today's update. You'll notice that there's nothing too crazy here, just the big changes are the marketplace and the wishing coins. The rest of it is just quality of life improvements, which we love to see. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section down below. Is there anything you think that DH Games could have added but didn't? And what level of improvements do you think this has added for your gameplay experience? And as well, let me know if you do manage now to get to 450 points in the Fantasy Arcade and get yourself a Deific Artifact. That's always pretty cool for you guys. I know people in chat have already been saying they've succeeded, which is cool. Anyway, guys, I'll see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe for more updates. And as always, thanks for tuning in. Have an amazing week. And of course, happy idling.